Sorry if I scared you guys. I'm Jamie, people call me Jamma, and I'm a music producer born and raised in Medicine Hat. Well, I've been producing music for about 10 years, but I've been learning music since I was probably 6, I think. I started taking guitar lessons, and then I just have like a super musical family, so it's always been around. I can make my way around most instruments. I usually start with the recording. That's why I come out in nature with my trusty field recorder, and I record nature sounds or record anything that I can find, really. Like, I'm always just like sampling things and trying to turn them into music, basically. Like, I've made songs out of cups walking down the stairs, or yeah, anything is a weapon. Summer's out there. And then yeah, I've moved away. I've lived in New Zealand and I lived in the Netherlands, both for about a year. So yeah, I've traveled around a couple times, but just found my way back to Medicine Hat. I've got like so many musicians in my family. So my grandma, she was a musician. My mom was in a band. Yeah, my dad, he was always just listening to music on the floor. We would come home and he was just like laying on the floor singing music. And yeah, my grandma, she would take us to like her concerts that she played. She like played more gigs than I would. When I would have like a huge weekend of DJing and like playing music, she always had like way more shows than me. And it was always cool to call her and hear what she was up to. With the YXH events, we've started throwing some DJ shows again. It seems like we're doing shows every month or so. It seems to be thriving again, I would say. I mean, when I first started making music, I really wanted to make a song with my grandma, and that was like one of the only goals initially. And then I finally got to do that. Super proud of that one. And we had a blast making it. She played piano probably for like 10 minutes, and then I just recorded the whole thing and like chopped it up together. Had my mom record some guitar on a song, and also made music with like people that I've never even met or spoken to. Like, I think that's one of the coolest things, is that you can make a song with someone you have no idea who they are, what they look like never speak a word with them, just like message them on the internet, and then you can just make a full entire song with them. Like, I found that to be really cool. When I first started like using a field recorder, my friend Dylan Bayak, me and him bonded over that, so we got to record a bunch of sounds together, and never actually ended up turning it into a song. But yeah, I'll always remember the one morning that we were at Inshallah Festival. We stayed up until like 5 in the morning just recording different sounds, and that was just such a cool memory to have with him. Yeah, miss that guy. Well, we got some birds that I recorded. So I usually have the birds kind of in the intros and outros, and then I'll start to layer in other sounds from there. I use like synths or guitars. So this is the intro kind of like pad that I have, and some other little instruments that I recorded as well, and then some guitar. So yeah, that's that for now, and then I basically just add layers until I'm happy with the section, and then kind of move on to the next. And then I try to have like a build up and a little drop. Really, there's no rules. Just cruising around, having little wiggles here and there.
My name is Josie Saddleback. My Cree name is Wapamusquasqueo. It means white bear woman in Cree. I'm from Samson Cree Nation, Treaty 6 territory, Musqueam. Musqueam means Bear Hills in Cree, and Musqueam is just central of Alberta. I lived here for 19 years. For specifically beading, I actually just started 3 years ago. It's just something I fell in love doing. Basically, I'm a full-time artist going to indigenous markets around Alberta. It's definitely like a huge fashion statement. And I like that, how being recognized at like big fashion shows, like at Santa Fe Market in the States, and even like the Met Gala with like celebrities like Kwana chasing horse and Lily Gladue wearing indigenous beadwork at the red carpet. So the fact that famous people are recognizing indigenous art is pretty freaking awesome, and And it's just awesome being the Native artist that they're getting recognition for their work. And, you know, they're actually going to real places with their art. Since I started beading was the year that I started dancing. I started dancing for small businesses downtown Medicine Hat and special occasion in King Cooley Park for like MMIW or like their small local powwows for indigenous peoples. After when everybody found out about the graves being discovered, I first started the orange ribbon in raising awareness, and then after, a month later, that's when I got my dress at a market in Edmonton, and then I started dancing for everything, businesses, schools. So I felt like I've had an impact in the community that way with bringing more Indigenous culture in Medicine Hat. So I've been dancing and beading for 3 years, so I also been on a sobriety journey, and I've actually just celebrated my 3 years of sobriety this year too, so it just started this whole new path. And not just like for me in the community, but also like for my family back home. I was one of the selected people for being one of the change makers in Medicine Hat for the community. So I felt like it's more than just, it's not just about myself. It's like a movement bigger than me. That makes me happy that I did my purpose as a knowledge keeper. I'm really proud of how long I've come, and I've even inspired Indigenous kids like that want to do dancing and stuff like that too, like Indigenous families here in Medicine Hat. So it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing hearing that, because there's not a lot of Indigenous representation here. I've fulfilled my purpose through beading and dancing and how it's impacted my life and my healing journey.
Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jeff Goring. I go by Sons1, and I'm the main organizer of Medicine Hat Mural Fest. We've been doing the Mural Fest for about 6 years now. I'm originally born and raised from just east of Toronto in Pickering, and moved out here 6 years ago. When I moved here from Toronto about 6 years ago, just because I found I'm a creative person, I need to paint. You know, even my wife understood that. She's like, oh, you gotta go do something. Will Oscom is the only, at that time, kind of other graffiti writer in town. With Medicine Hat being a train community, you see a lot of graffiti. When I see the train goes by, you can be like, oh, okay, this has been in LA, this has been in Mexico, this has been in Toronto, Vancouver. You can tell just by the names, you just get to know who's who. So it was cool. So the way we kind of started Medicine Hat Mural Fest was pop-up parks. First wall we did was the side of the tunnel. We had myself, Phasm Creative, he's from Modesto, California, and then Will Austin, the one on the side of the tunnel, it just says Medicine Hat. Phasm did the meadow lark, and then Will did the bottom silhouette there in the background. So we all worked together, and that was the first mural festival. Cost us the cost of 15 cans of paint. If we're bringing in artists from Toronto, California, Vancouver, wherever, I want to use a local artist. So that local artist can learn as much as you can off some of the artists we have. Medicine Hat Mural Fest, it's all volunteer for me. One year I did make $200, but it's all volunteer, it's all local businesses supporting. And also, the other thing we do is we want to be able to give artists that don't usually paint on a larger scale, give them the chance and ability. There's so many people who graduate from the college, there's so many just local artists are phenomenal artists, so they have the art skill, but then it's just showing them you could do the same thing, but instead of doing a 16 by 20 canvas, let's try a 10 by 10 wall. And it's just showing them little tricks and little tips that we've kind of learned along the way of doing it, and giving them the chance. And we want to be able to inspire younger people too to be kind of get that, oh, well, maybe I can do that, you know? And so that's one of the things we try to do. We want to be able to beautify our downtown, give younger artists and local artists a chance to figure out, well, this is how you do this, and a space to do it, and then cover all the costs and stuff for it as well, and pay them whatever we have left over type of thing. And then also it's showcasing some of these international artists in our city, which has been cool. We try to focus most of our murals downtown, and eventually we'll have to spread out type thing or update some of them. For the Mural Fest, we always try to focus on things that either something that's been vandalized or something that's been that's just trashed already or already has a coat of primer on it. We've flown in, artist would have to be Phasm Creative, and he's a gentleman who's originally from Modesto, California, and he's come in and he did the tiger. He did the tiger beside Tim Hortons there. And it's just, once again, it's one of those walls where before you never see it at all. He did a giant tiger, which just looks phenomenal. When he starts, you're kind of looking at it, you're like,
My name is Aurelia. I am a potter and a hoop dancer. I've been living in Medicine Hat for about 10 years, but I'm from Regina originally. So I've been doing pottery for almost 5 years. I started during the pandemic. Originally I was taking a sculpture class and I absolutely hated clay, like I didn't like it. And then my teacher lent me a wheel to borrow during the pandemic, and so every day I just spent hours and hours making really shitty pots. Then I just sort of got into it that way, and then I joined the Potters Club at the Cultural Center. There's some really great ladies there who've been doing it for like 20 plus years, so just by being around them I was able to like pick up some skills. I graduated from school about 2 years ago, and then after school I took an entrepreneurial development course, and that's how I got into teaching. Opened my own studio and just have my own space at home so I don't have to use a shared studio. I realized quickly that there's like not a lot of classes for pottery in Medicine Hat, so I decided to open a studio. So here in my apartment, and I have space for 4 people in my classes, and been doing that since October, so about 7 months, and it's been a lot of fun. Same thing as pottery, I've been doing hoop dancing since the start of the pandemic, so this will be my 5th summer doing it. Before that, I grew up doing dance, like I did ballet and Ukrainian dance, and then I think when I was about 15, I just completely stopped, and then I was introduced to like the EDM rave scene, and like something inside of me was just like ignited. Yeah, exactly. Ever since I got into that, I like saw people hula hooping, and I was like, that is so cool, like I could never do that. And then I just went to buy one. Yeah, it like brought that like rhythm and stuff that I already had in me, it brought it back.
Sorry if I scared you guys.